Hi and welcome to today's video where we're going to crochet an amigurumi body. The principle is the same as the sphere, but we're going to expand the middle part. Let's start with the magic loop. To do this, you create a loop like this, and then you start crocheting single crochets in the loop. I usually do 6 or 7 stitches at first. After that, we pull the end yarn like this and let's start crocheting. Close the round with 1 slip stitch and a chain. We're going with single crochets. The first round we need to increase in every stitch, so 2 stitches in every previous stitch. The bigger the circle, the fewer amount of stitches you need to increase. At first, we need to increase in every stitch, so the circle won't morph into a bowl, but will stay flat. And I usually close the round with a slip stitch and a chain. This chain stitch will substitute the first single crochet on the next round. When you get to the second round, you're going to start increasing in every other stitch. The chain you just made substitutes the first single crochet, so you need to increase by crocheting 1 single crochet. Insert the hook into the same stitch. Work 1 single crochet and then 1 regular single crochet without increase. Now you can start increasing in every other stitch. 1 increase, that is 2 single crochets in the previous stitch and 1 regular stitch. But you still want to check once in a while using the pivot technique. If you don't know what the pivot technique is, I will link to a previous video where I explain this technique. But it basically means that the stitch you're working has to stand up straight and you calibrate as you go along by increasing or decreasing. This is the difference between freeform crochet and regular crochet. With freeform crochet you never need to count stitches, but you always have to stay alert using the pivot technique to make sure that your work won't form unwanted shapes. And let's close this round with 1 slip stitch and chain 1. The wider the circle gets, the more we have to rely on the pivot technique to determine when to increase and when to crochet regular stitches. But basically you can follow the guideline with increasing the amount of regular stitches between the increases, if that makes sense. So first round you increase in every stitch, and the second round you increase in every other stitch, and the third round you increase in every third stitch, etc. Now I think I'm happy with the size of the circle, so let's start decreasing. I'm making one transition round, so to speak, where I will decrease 2 stitches throughout the entire round. Then I'm gonna stop the increasing entirely and start crocheting with regular single crochets. This way the work will start to form a bowl shape. As you can see, the work already starts to form a waxing surface, even if we just decreased 2 stitches throughout the round. So let's continue with regular single crochets. Now you can see that this will start to form the body where we're going to attach the head later. Okay, so I've crocheted several rounds and here is the result so far. Now it's time to start decreasing. When I decrease, I pull up yarn in the first stitch, then pull up more yarn in the second stitch, grab some yarn and pull through. This way the work won't have any holes in it, and this will help when you're creating amigurumis, plush toys and other things that need stuffing. So the first round we do like we did before, but in reverse, so to speak. So this time let's decrease 2 stitches throughout the entire round. And now it's time to decrease a little bit more, so let's decrease every 3rd stitch the next round, and every 2nd stitch the round after that, etc. And now it's time to stuff the work before we close it. I'm using an old wool yarn for this, but you can use just about anything you have at hand. Scrap fabric, wool, etc. When I'm happy with the amount of stuffing, I continue with the decreasing process. When you get to the end like this, you need to start decreasing every stitch. And you can also skip some stitches at the end if you want. And there you have it. The body for our Freeform Crochet Amigurumi project is done. If you like this video and want to come along and start learning Freeform Crochet, consider subscribing so you don't miss future videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you the next time.